Welcome to Homebrew Magic, a video series about EDH where we do our best to build unique, fun, or just plain silly deck lists to play against each other, followed by a breakdown of how they did so we can all learn and get better at this game that we love.
What up, Hive-Minded? It's your boy Tej.
Woo!
Tonight I'm bringing back a deck that I have not played in a very long time because I wanted to take some time, make some adjustments to it. And I think it's ready. I think it's ready to see the light of day again.
What do we got?
It's Vorosh the Hunter.
Ooh!
Mutate.
Counters for days.
Mutators.
A pet deck of mine that I just want to see work with some sort of consistency instead of just every once in a while.
I mean, if you're looking for a W, my deck's really going to help you. Maybe.
Not looking for a W, looking for consistency.
Oh,
looking to do stuff.
That's less fun.
So,
Nope, you're not going yet.
Yep, you were correct.
Because you lost the roll-off.
I did.
So you're showing the commander first as per our new formatting.
Which I did.
Nelson.
I brought back, this deck goes to Schnell Evan.
Tivit?
So, Tivit, my Sphinx Rogue, this deck wants to vote, manipulate the vote. So it's a little bit of voting, a little bit of tokens. It's an Esper deck. It's a lot of fun, and it's a Sphinx because it's for Schnell.
Nice.
So he's back.
Woo.
Woo!
So, I spent the last week updating like 8, 9, 10 decks, trying to figure out what I wanted to play. So I built a new one today. Like literally 3 hours ago. I built Tetzin, Gnome Champion. He's a 2/2. He costs a red, a blue, and a white. And the reason why he looks so funny is because I went flip tribal. But if you notice, my sleeves are clear. So how do you do flip cards with clear sleeves?
Did you write tokens for every
You
card?
draw every single flip card and have them separately in a pile.
That's amazing.
So, Tetzin. Whenever Tetzin or another double-faced artifact enters the battlefield under your control, mill 3 cards. You may return an artifact card from among them to your hand. He's a 2/2 for 3.
And it's an artifact deck, right
And
up your alley. I like it.
I didn't want it to be an artifact deck. It just happened to be an artifact deck.
Well, I respect what you did.
Yeah, that's badass.
I would have respected it more if you were like, so I've been sorting all these cards and I came across a shit ton of blank cards. And started to write a deck.
The idea actually kind of
It's called literature.
The spawn of this deck was I found a box of clear sleeves that I forgot I had, and I thought it'd be fucking funny to use as many proxy fill-in cards as I could.
I like it.
So with that, we will lead off because I won the roll. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're gonna go into a Needle Verge pathway, but we're gonna do the red side. So I'm gonna grab that and pass to Tej.
I like that. Land, red or white.
I didn't draw the lands. So
Play.
that is a pillar. Oh wait, no,
Yeah, the red side.
Needle Verge. Yep.
There you go.
A Deathcap Glade, which will enter the battlefield tapped, and I'll pass to Nelson.
I will untap, upkeep, draw for turn. And this may be one of the best turn 1 plays I've ever had.
This is gonna be the hardest game for me.
Hallowed Fountain. I meant to come in. That comes in untap. I'm gonna take it off my Schnell totem.
No.
Wait, can I split this? 'Cause
No.
It's 2 life. It's 2,
No.
right? It's 1.
It's one
two.
instance
Yeah, okay.
of Twa.
All right. So tap the Hallowed Fountain.
I don't appreciate you trying to deal me 1 damage.
Soul Ring. Tap the Soul Ring. Thought Vessel. No
The
Schnell.
thought- oh.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Ran out of gas.
Untap, upkeep, draw. We will play a
Ow, my gas.
points. And fuck Nelson. So we're gonna go white and wait, no, not white. Sorry. Yep, we're not gonna fuck Nelson.
Oh.
Not yet.
But you sanitized.
We're gonna
Yeah,
pass.
he's young.
We're just gonna play a planes. And we're gonna pass to Nelson.
Jesus.
I have more going on in my brain this game than ever before because I'm trying to read what these
His
cards
own
do.
handwriting.
And I did summaries of some of these things, and I did the traditional blue symbol as a U on the thing. So I'm like, what the fuck is that half a W? Is that 1/2 white? It is not.
I played a
0.5 planes.
Bance Panorama as my land for turn. I will play a Soul Ring.
Nice.
Then I will tap my Deathcap Glade for green and my Soul Ring, and I will play Rampant Growth.
Ooh.
Everyone's ramping.
Rampant.
And I will pass the turn while I look for a the blue one. What is it? An island.
Siege's going hard.
Half a white.
Got it.
Untap, upkeep, and draw for turn.
Here you are. What's up, lady?
I'm going to play a Goldmire Bridge, which will enter tap. It's an artifact land.
Ooh.
Indestructible. Taps for white or black.
Nice.
Then I'm going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, tapping my Hallowed Fountain for white. I will play Master of Ceremonies. At the beginning of my upkeep, each opponent chooses money, friends, or secrets. For each player who chose money, you and that player each create a treasure token. For each player who chose friends, you and that player each create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. And for each player who chose secrets, you and that player each draw a card. Go ahead, Chanel.
Okay. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Irrigated farmland will be my land for the turn.
Sure.
And then we'll tap the Needle Verge for an expedition map.
It's what the deck wants.
So
You
I
saw
can
that?
I can ramp later. And we'll pass to Teja's pile of.
I love Expedition, man.
It's so good. Ding.
It's real good.
Untap. Draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I caught a fish alive.
That's exactly where my brain went to.
I will.
I was reading Dr. Seuss earlier today because my mom bought more books for the upcoming baby. So
Love it.
The upcoming baby.
Be soon to make his debut.
yes.
I'll cast a Polywog Symbiote. Each creature spell I cast costs 1 less to cast it if it has Mutate. And whenever I cast a creature spell, if it has Mutate, I draw a card and discard a card.
Seems good in that deck.
I will use the 1 remaining mana from Soul Ring to activate my Bant Panorama and pass to Nelson.
Alright. I will untap. Upon my upkeep, Master of Ceremonies will trigger. Schnell, money for treasure, friends for a citizen token, or secrets to draw a card.
Nelson and I like to share secrets, so I'm choosing secrets.
Alright, so I will draw. Teach.
I also like to share secrets.
Alright, we'll both draw. And then I will draw for turn.
Also, Chris is gone tonight, so we're playing Totem.
Yes. Correct.
As I realized, it was one of the first times I cut to the overall view and we saw the big white space where
I
Chris
will
used to
play,
live.
Minamo, School at Water's Edge, as my land for turn.
Cut, please.
I'm going to tap for white, black, and blue. And then 3.
Oof.
I will be playing Urza, Chief Artificer. His affinity for artifact creatures. Artifact creatures I control have menace, and at the beginning of my end step, I create a 0/0 construct with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. I will move to combat. What's your Polywog Symbiote?
1/3.
Oh, 1/3. I'm going to swing at you with a 3/4, Tej.
In response,
Okay.
I'm gonna swords your Urza.
That hurts. I gain 4.
Gain equal to its power, yes.
Okay.
So we're taking 3, unless you're blocking with the polywog.
I am not.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we're a team, sir. You were attacking
37.
me as well.
It's true, but now you hurt
I know.
our team.
You had to declare Tej as ahead.
I did. That's easy. Don't have to get my tokens yet. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
Okay.
No, sorry.
Okay. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Huh. This deck is not shuffled. Great. Land for the turn will be a plains. Just gonna check my quick pile to see what this one actually does, because I just drew a shitty picture. Sure.
You shitty pig.
We're gonna. I figured I'll learn what it does. I'm gonna pay 2 white and 2 for an Elish Norn. Elish Norn. Weep. 3/5 vigilance. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1. I can then pay a white and 2 to sacrifice 3 other creatures, exile Elish Norn, and return to the battlefield transformed under the owner's control at sorcery speed. That happens, and then on her backside she incubates and does other stuff.
Girl, what that backside do?
show me what you incubating with. Go ahead, Tej.
Untap.
It's so weird seeing a card actually called Elish Norn because
I know.
everybody says Elish Norn, they don't say
Yep.
Grand Cenobite. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm like, wait,
That's why I had
not-
to pause, because I'm like, wait a second, that costs like 7.
Shit, so that thing gets -2/-2. Nope.
Need the green. I'm going to blue,
Show us what you're working with.
green. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just use my art until we need.
I like it.
That'll just confuse us. Ugh.
See your art now makes me want to play Silent Hill and see Pyramid Head again.
I mean,
It is. It's really good. I mean, Elish Norn in general looks just like a boomerang version of Pyramid Head.
Yeah,
So-
I guess. I will cast Parcel Beast.
classic boomerang head.
It costs 1 less because it has mutate, and because it has mutate, I will draw a card and discard a card. I will draw that, and I will discard that island. That's all I'm gonna do. Go, Nelson.
Alright, I will untap for turn upon my upkeep. We can get treasure, citizen tokens, or draw a card. No?
Let us share in the bounty of treasure.
Okay. Teach?
I still have secrets for you.
Alright, so we will each draw a card. Then I will draw for turn.
Here, you need
Oh, thanks. That saves me time.
Again, I've been getting much better at actually bringing the tokens that my deck needs. Or drawing them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
My Elish Norn is much happier than the OG art by Kikai Kato. That's not how you say that name. Kikai Kotaki.
Already fucked up.
I'm going to play Razortide Bridge as my land for the turn. That enters the battlefield. I'm going to pay 2 white. 2. I will cast Mondrak, Glory, Dominus.
Oofda.
If one or more tokens will be created under my control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. I can pay 1 and 2 white Phyrexian mana to sack 2 other artifacts and or creatures to put an indestructible counter on Mondrak, Glory, Dominus. I have 2, 3. Alright, I'm gonna move to combat and seeing no good attacks at the moment. Because Chanel has 2 Elish Norns.
I have 2 legendary Elish Norn specialty art cards.
The Schnell, the Schnell Secret Lair Edition.
Yes.
I will move to my end step and then pass the turn to you, Schnell.
Okay. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Yep, we're gonna go land for the turn, and we will do blue, red, and white for Tetzin. Tetzin, Gnome Champion. When he or another double-faced artifact enters the battlefield under my control, I mill 3 cards. So we will go Matzatlantali, Golden Guardian, and Spring-Loaded Sawblades. So I actually hit 3. I may put an artifact card from among them into my hand. So this flashes in and deals damage. That dude fights and flips. Fight and die to flip. And then that just lets me draw and discard. So we are going to bring back the Golden Guardian. Then we will pay 2 for a Paleontologist's Pickaxe. That one is an equipment, so it is a a transformable. Is that the terminology?
Transformal.
Double-faced. So that one will also mill me 3. This time I don't hit any artifacts, so no triggers there. But whenever a equipped creature attacks, I draw a card and then discard a card. It equips for 1.
What the fuck is crafting?
And then it So to craft, I have to sacrifice or exile whatever the required is, and then pay the cost. So
you could craft. So you could sack 1 artifact.
So, for
and then
example,
pay 5.
craft with artifact, white and 2. Exile this artifact, exile another artifact you control or an artifact from your graveyard. Return this card transformed under its owner's control.
Got it. Okay.
Sorcery speed.
Okay.
So I would have to exile one or more creatures and pay 5. And when I do, this comes back as an artifact equipment. When Dinosaur Headdress enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature I control. As Dinosaur Headdress becomes attached to a creature, choose an exiled creature card used to craft Dinosaur Headdress. Equipped creature is a copy of the last chosen card.
Got it. Okay. That's confusing as shit.
Oh yeah,
It's
and
cool as hell, though.
I'm going to sack this treasure to equip the pickaxe onto Elishnorn. I will go to combat. You have a
1/3 and a 2/4.
3/4 and a 4/4.
multi-blocks, but then if I attack, I get to draw a discard. Not worth. Okay, fine. Fucking go teach.
Untap. Draw. You are not what I wanted. I will go
4 out of the 5 cards in my hand I drew an hour ago.
3/4.
It's so rewarding.
I'm gonna play a Teamer Sabertooth.
I complained so much to my wife. She's like, "You brought this on yourself. It was your stupid decision." As I'm sitting there going, "Fuck, it's 5 o'clock
I
already.
think it's brilliant.
They're gonna be here in 2 hours."
Sabertooth is a 4/3 cat. And I can pay 1 and a green to return another creature I control to my hand. If I do, Teamer Sabertooth gains indestructible until end of turn.
Now's the time to get it before he has the mana to activate it.
My land for turn is Glasspool Shore, which will enter tapped, and I will pass to Nelson.
Alright.
Get him, buddy.
Untap upon my upkeep. Master of Ceremonies. Treasure, citizen token, or card.
Well, your treasure and citizens are doubled right
They
now,
are.
so let us draw as friends.
Teach.
Same.
Alright. And then I will draw a turn. What we get? Alright. What the fuck does this do again? Let's just do. We'll go Sea of Claws will be my land for turn. And you're untapped because I have 2 or more opponents.
Barely.
Yeah.
I miss Chris. What you got, son? What you doing?
I'm gonna pay a black and 2.
You don't run basics, do you?
I do.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't played any yet. There are basics in this deck, yes.
I believe you.
I just wanted the artifact lands in here for
Yeah.
affinity and things. I will be playing Black Market Connections. At the beginning of my pre-combat main phase, choose 1 or more. I can sell Contraband, create a treasure token and lose a life, buy information, draw a card and lose 2 life, or hire a mercenary, create a 3/2 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling and lose 3 life. That will trigger till next turn because I'm past the beginning of my pre-combat main phase.
And you always will be with that attitude.
No shit. I will move to combat, and I don't really want to make any attacks yet. I will pass the turn to you, Schnell.
Okay. Untap. Upkeep, nothing, draw. Ah, yes, that one. So, land for the turn will be this Hengegate Pathway. I'm going to put it on the blue side, whichever one that is.
And your gates.
That will be, yep, the backside is Mistgate Pathway. This is a fucking mess. Why did I think this would be a good idea? Yeah, it's fun so far. We are going to cast Golden Guardian. That will trigger Tetzin. So I will mill 3 and I can bring an artifact back. Golden Guardian is a 4/4 defender. I can pay 2, and he fights another target creature I control. When Golden Guardian dies this turn, return to the battlefield transformed under my control. And on the backside, it is a land that taps for 2 mana of any one color. And I can pay 4 and just start pumping out 4/4 artifact creature token golems.
Are all your flippy cards either Zendikar lands or Case of Ixalan card?
I also have battles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I hit one artifact, Thousand Moon Smithy. It is a 2 and white, or two white and 2 for ETB. Create a gnome soldier. I don't know what that art is. Some of the art in that set's real fucking weird. Then we'll also go ahead and tap this blue for a training grounds. Activated abilities of creatures I control cost 2 less to activate.
It's a real good card.
Especially with all of the fucking...
Activated abilities.
Yeah. So, do we want to... If I craft this thing with 6 artifacts, whenever this enters the battlefield or attacks, transform up to one other double-sided artifact I control, and then create 2 gnomes. And it becomes a 6/6 boss man. It's kind of neat. Yeah, unfortunately, Expedition Map is not a creature, so I can't do that. And I can't swing through you yet, so Tej, go ahead. I'm going to stop wasting time.
End of your turn. I'm going to activate my Parcel Beast. I'm going to look at the top card of my library. If it's a land, I can put it on the battlefield. If it's not a land, or I choose not to put it on the battlefield, it goes to my hand. It will go to my hand. Untap. Draw. Here, land. Underground River. 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I also,
6,
yeah, because I also have
8.
battles, and I also have a decent number of incubate, because those are double-sided artifacts. Tetzin will help me flip them.
If I were to...
Every time you've said Tetzin, my brain just goes
1, 2,
Tetsuko Umezawa because he was first.
No, I get it.
4. Then...
Yeah, I don't know what this deck is supposed to do other than have flip cards. And I know they're not technically flipping. I'm just going to keep calling transformations flips.
I'm fine with it. I don't
The
know.
deck
If
name...
Mr. Semantics over
Yeah.
here.
Mr. Somatic Components over there.
You do what you want.
Yeah, the deck name on Architect is Catch You on the Flip Side.
I like it.
I was going to lean into Let's See What I Draw pun, but then I realized people can't really see my hand-drawn fucking...
Can you see what I draw?
Yeah. How do I scan in my own fucking art into Architect?
Maybe it's smart to do this.
Oh, he's still going at the end of my turn, isn't
Yep. No. This
No,
is my
this is-
regular.
Oh,
This
fuck.
is-
This is my
fucking
turn
proper.
proper.
Oh, that was great.
Nice.
Yeah, fucking nice.
That. Okay. Change my mind. I'm going to pay 1 life. I'm going to pay it from my Nelson totem over here. So my Underground River can tap 4 black. I am going to cast Otrimi the Ever Playful via the mutate cost. I'm going to draw a card and discard a card.
He's the face commander for that deck.
There you are.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at Otrimi.
I want to discard double major. You're not doing anything for me right now.
Just not doing it for you?
Not right now. I'm going to mutate Otrimi the Ever Playful on top of Parcel Beast. Now it's a 6/6 with trample, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, I can return target creature card with mutate from my graveyard to my hand.
Oofta. Nelson, get him.
Then
Rolls.
Oofta doofta.
3, 4, 5,
Doofta doo.
4.
Yeah, I need to remember craft allows me to not only take from my battlefield,
Pass
but
turn.
also my graveyard.
Alright,
That's going to be the key to this.
on my upkeep. Master of Ceremonies. Treasure, Citizen, card.
Let's draw a card.
Teach.
Same.
Alright. I will
We drew.
draw for turn. At the beginning of my pre-combat main phase, I will choose to lose a life and create 2 treasures. Lose it from here, going up to 3. Well, I will create a treasure, but Mondrak will give me another one. I should.
Oh, yes.
Then
Should teach
I
my-
will. I
He has
will
no
lose-
idea.
I will lose 2 life to draw a card, and then I will lose 3 life and I will create 2 shapeshifter tokens. So let me just put that on there. Sorry, I'm going to do that later. I'll also take my turn here real quick.
Whenever you get around to it.
If and so I will.
Take your time. So, backside of...
Alright, I'm going to play Swamp as my land for turn. I'm going to pay 2 whites, 2 white mana, and then 2 for my Soul Ring. And I'm going to cast Palace Jailer. So
You become Monarch.
I'm
Right?
a Monarch. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until an opponent becomes the Monarch. I'm going to exile Otrini. I'm going to attempt to exile your Otrini pile. Trying to do something.
I believe in
How
you.
about that smiley little otter?
Is that what it is?
He's like got
He's a
tail,
nightmare
he's a
beast.
smiley
Yeah.
little guy, I don't know.
Like a burn victim otter. Maybe all lizards are just otters that have been in fires. Don't try that at home.
I will activate my Teamer Sabertooth to return it to my hand.
Okay.
Now kill the Teamer Sabertooth.
It has indestructible until end of turn.
Now, in response, before indestructible.
Yeah, with indestructible on the stack.
Yeah. Well, ability on the stack. Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Then I will go ahead 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's nothing I really want to do with 3. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to move to combat. You got a 4/3 indestructible
Yep.
and a 3/3
And a 1/3.
1/3.
I, being on his team, have a 3/5, 2/2, and a 4/4.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't really like my attacks right now. So I'm gonna move to my end step, and I will draw because I'm the monarch.
Being the king of us.
And then I will say go show.
Okay. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Oh, interesting. So land for the turn, plains, because we can't draw enough of those. Then we'll do red and 1 for a make room for all my shit. Dowsing device. Whenever this card or another artifact ETB, target creature or target gets +1/+0 is what I wrote. So whenever dowsing device or another artifact enters the battlefield under my control, up to 1 target creature I control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until the end of the turn. Then transform dowsing device if I control 4 or more objects. Upon casting this, when it ETBs, I have 2 triggers. It's and this. So Tetzin's, we'll mill 3. And we'll get Dire Flail into my hand. See, there's an invasion.
Ah, there it is. I love that art too.
Yeah, it's really good. Invasion Kylum. Whenever dowsing or another enters the battlefield up to 1 other target creature, I'll give Elish Norn +1/+0 and haste. Then transform it if I control 4 or more artifacts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it transforms into a land that produces red, or I can pay red and 2, and until the end of the turn, target creature gains haste and +X/+O, where X is the number of artifacts I control. So that seems kind of neat.
That is neat.
With Elish Norn being a 4/5, I'm going to pay 2. With Training Grounds, I'm going to pay 0. It's going to fight Elish Norn, because I have to fight something I control.
Yep.
4/5 kills a 0/4 or 4/4.
Can't reduce less than 1 mana?
Well, I'm gonna pay 1 then. Sorry, I stopped reading like you guys do when
Yep.
I'm happy.
I'm aware.
That's what I do all
So
the time.
I'm gonna pay 1 to fight and die and come back transformed into a land that I can pay 4 and create a 4/4 golem token. Then, do we have anything else we want to do? Do we want to save mana to flip shit? We're going to pay 1 red for a Dire Flail. Dire Flail! ETBs will trigger Tetzin. I will mill 3, and I'm just going to make sure Tetzin doesn't say this ability only triggers once per turn. It does not. So, Arid Mesa, Jin Kataxis, and Invasion Kamigawa. Jin Kataxis is not an artifact creature. So we've got 2 artifacts in graveyard if I want to exile them for crafting. Otherwise, equipped creature gets +2/+0. We're going to move to equip Dire Flail onto Elshinorn as well. And because it already took 4 damage this turn, I'm not going to be dumb enough to swing. Or am I? No, not this turn. But we will. One last thing. Phyrexia Awakening. When it enters the battlefield, I incubate 4. So I create an incubator token with 4 +1/+1 counters. I can pay 1. I can pay 2 because it's not a creature yet to flip it into a 0/0 creature. Phyrexian, which this will give it vigilance if and when that happens. That is enough for me. Go teach.
Untap. Draw.
This deck seems to be doing stuff. Building to things.
Land for turn will be a swamp. I'm going to try something.
Don't. I'm busy.
Am I?
Oh, shit. Tetzin will see the incubator because that's an artifact that's double-faced, right, Teach? Judge rules?
Tetzin will see the incubator and...
Whenever another double-faced artifact enters the battlefield, and it's an artifact token that they change the fucking rules for, so I'll mill 3. Thran Dynamo, Plains. We're going to grab the Thran Dynamo into my hand. Seems decent.
Yep. It's a good hit.
I'm changing...
Oh, he's calling an audible.
Oh, shit.
Mind.
So,
I think...
basically when I built this deck, I put a shitload of faith into Wizards R&D that they built enough answers and interactions with their sets in a sealed environment. Because I basically took 2 different sealed environments and made the best possible draft decks from them.
I cast Vesuvan Duplimancy.
Whenever you target stuff, you duplicate stuff.
Whenever I cast a spell that targets only a single artifact or creature I control, I create a token that's a copy of that artifact or creature, except it's not legendary.
I have a response to that. I'm going to pay
I like that he hasn't cared enough about anything I've done.
1 and a blue, and I'm going to negate that. Attempt to negate it.
Nelson, US.
I don't want... You're targeting everything you have in
I'm
that
not
deck.
targeting
I don't want...
anything. I'm targeting one thing.
Mutate targets.
Mutate is a...
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm only targeting one thing at a time.
Okay.
Arcane Denial.
Alright.
Quick, counter his Arcane Denial.
I can.
Can't or won't.
At the beginning of your upkeep, you can draw 2 cards. Yep. I can draw 1.
I'm going to forget unless I do that.
That leaves me with nothing. Fuck me. I'm not in a good position.
Yes.
That was a bad boy.
I'm not in a good position. I'm going to... I'm going to cast Otrimi the Ever Playful for Mutate, targeting my Polywog Symbiote. going to draw a card and discard a card.
So you create a copy
Maybe
of
it's
the
another
Polywog?
Polywog.
I'm
Yeah.
creating the copy of the Polywog.
Okay.
I'm going to discard Vine Glimmer Snarl. Then I have a 6/6 Polywog and a regular 1/3 Polywog. And I will pass the turn.
Polywoggy do all the day. Or whatever. Whatever it is the kids say.
Goddamn kids and their
Okay, so-
doodles.
And they're whatnots. I will untap. Upon my upkeep, Master of Ceremonies will trigger. Treasure, citizen token, or...
We'll draw. We'll draw in friendship.
Alright.
Same.
Alright. I'm also going to draw 2 from Arcane Denial.
Sorry.
I'm going to draw 1 from Arcane Denial.
And I'm going to draw 1 for turn.
I love what I wrote on this card. I'm gonna have to look in the pile what it actually does, because there's some text.
Okay. My land for the turn will be this Vault of Champions. Oh shit, I totally forgot this is at the beginning of my pre-combat man phase. I'm gonna lose a life and create 2 more treasures. 1 from this and 1 from that.
Okay.
I'm gonna lose 2 life and draw a card. And we'll just do that for now. What do we got here? Alright. Just crack 3 treasures, going down to 2 treasures. For an Urza Lord Protector, artifact, instant, and sorcery spells I cast cost 1 generic mana less to cast.
Mm-hmm.
And then for 7, if I own and control both Urza and the Mightstone and Weakstone, I can meld them.
Into giant Planeswalker Urza, the most flavorful fucking thing Wizards has ever done.
Yep. Alright. Then, I'm going to tap 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to cast Coercive Portal. Will of the Council. At the beginning of my upkeep, starting with me, each player votes for Carnage or Homage. If Carnage gets more votes, sacrifice Coercive Portal and destroy all non-land permanents. If Homage gets more votes or the vote is tied, draw a card.
Not sure I like that. Or I love it. I don't know. Not sure. Let's see how it goes. All non-land?
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, half my deck turns into lands. From what I've seen. Teach, how you doing? You're real quiet over there today.
Good. I'm tired.
Fair enough. Nelson, what are you doing over there? You're real quiet today. Just real low energy for this game so far.
Doing some thoughts.
I miss Chris.
I miss Chris too.
Doing some thoughts.
Doing a think-a-think.
Doing a think. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do-do-do-do-do. 3. This. And we'll tap black. So I'm going to move this off for now because I have no treasures. I'm going to play Tivit, Seller of Secrets. Council's Dilemma. Whenever it enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, starting with me, each player votes for evidence or bribery. For each evidence vote, investigate. For each bribery vote, create a treasure token. And while voting, I may vote an additional time. Alright, so starting with me, I will vote for bribery.
I vote for the clues, because treasures are good.
Same.
Clues are not.
Okay, so I get 4 clues. Do I have a clue?
Fucker doesn't even have a clue.
Do I have a clue? And then I get
I have a clue for you.
for clues.
Fucking clues, man.
Fucking clues, man. Alright. Then, I will also vote an additional time. And I will vote for, bribery again. You get 2 more treasures.
Don't you technically just vote twice at the same time?
Yeah, I probably should have.
Okay.
Okay. Then I'm going to...
Move to end step, discard down hand size.
I've got a thought process.
Hand size is infinite. Discard down to...
Yes, sir. Discard down to none hand size.
Yeah.
I will move my end step. I will draw for Monarch, and then I will... That's it.
Before the end of your turn, I'm thinking long and hard about this. I'm going to activate Gold Forge Garrison. Add 2 mana of any one color. I'm going to add 2 blue. I'm going to transform this incubator token into token artifact creature Phyrexian. Transforming does not leave the battlefield, so that will not come back into the battlefield. Will not, because it doesn't leave and re-enter. So that won't allow Tetzin to see it and trigger. Going to my turn. Untap. Upkeep. No triggers. Draw. We will land for the turn island. Yeah, there's no good way to get this to work the way I want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay 1 white minus training grounds. So I'm going to activate Elish Norn's second ability. Sacrifice 3 other creatures. Phyrexian, 3 others. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that enough? Yep. Creating a Deuter. I'm moving mana shy, aren't I? Okay. Then, sacrificing Phyrexian, sacrificing Golem, sacrificing Tetzin. So I didn't have any other options. Those don't count. Yeah, we're gonna be 1 mana shy. We flip this. We incubate 2, and then we incubate 2 5 times. And the official text on incubate is create an incubator token with that many number of counters on it. So I will get 5 tutus. But they're just technically the deuters. I don't have enough. So due to illness, part of one of them will be played by a gnome. Then transform all incubator tokens you control. So now they all become active 2/2s. Nice and clean. We'll throw down Thran Dynamo. Since we just need to set up for, I think, another big turn.
So that's not currently attached to anything?
This is, these will fall off because it's not a creature anymore. It's just a saga.
They were on Mommy.
On the next chapter, creatures I control get +1/+1 and gain double strike until the end of the turn. And then chapter 3, destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. And then I exile her and she comes back on her flip side. Do we have anything else we're gonna do? Yeah, we will move to equip one of them with the pickaxe. And we will use the other 2 mana to expedition map, search a library for a land, reveal it, put it in our hand, then shuffle. Do we need any particular land? We'll get a command tower. Okay, those guys all enter the battlefield this turn. I will pass to Tej and let Nelson cut me.
I will untap. I will.
Again, this deck is doing a lot of things.
Sure is.
For just being throw
The deck
together.
of many things.
Just throw together theme.
don't like what you're doing over there, Mr. Schnell.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better. Why? What are you doing? Board wiping?
No.
Dabbing?
Dabbing.
Not like the hands across the face dabbing, but like dabbing at the urinal dabbing. So you don't drip in your pants.
Oh no, I was going to do hands across the face.
Oh, fair enough.
Dabbing is cool.
It is. It's how you don't get drips in your pants.
Always be careful. ABC.
Bitches
I am going to...
Always be dabbing. Since I got the +1/+1 dice, I'm actually going to clean my board state and make it...
cast a Parcel Beast.
Again?
Yep.
God, you always just do this.
Targeting my Teamer Sabertooth.
Ah.
That is going to get me a copy of Teamer Sabertooth.
So you're mutating.
Yes. Sorry.
Got it.
That is also going to let me draw a card and discard a card 2 times. We'll draw this. I will discard Sparkle. I will draw again. I will discard Simic Signet. This will go underneath, or on top of the Teamer Sabertooth.
Okay.
And I have 1, 2, that.
Silver bullets!
This is the hardest twist off course
Yeah.
laptop I've ever had.
It sounded
God
painful.
damn.
You okay?
No.
You want a binky?
Gray. Fucking hurt.
Fucking gay.
Was it really having my ghost of a twist?
4, 5, 6, 7.
Never Wisconsin harder in my life than when I
Yeah.
said that word.
I was gonna say, that was upstairs, where now my future child will sleep.
Was that upstairs or was that in Milwaukee at my old place? I don't
thought
even
that was-
remember.
I thought that
maybe
was when we
maybe
still
that one
played-
was upstairs.
I thought that was when we still played Beard Gamers upstairs.
Could be.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to do.
What did you do?
But I
Looted.
mutated, drew a couple cards, discarded a couple cards, made a second Teamer Sabertooth.
Alright. I have 2 beginning my upkeep triggers, so we'll do Master of Ceremonies first. Treasure, Citizen, or Draw.
Oh, we'll draw. I don't want you to get any more
Okay.
additional...
Each treasure, Citizen,
We
or
will
Draw.
also draw.
Okay. Then Coercive Portal will trigger. At the beginning of my upkeep, we vote for Carnage or Homage. Carnage is a board wipe, including sacrificing the portal. Homage, I draw a card.
Who votes first?
So you vote.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
I wanna, before anything happens. At the beginning of your upkeep, starting with you.
Oh, it does say, that one does say 2 tokens. Yeah, that's fine.
Who votes first? Fuck you, you go. But I would like to. What does Carnage target? All non-lands?
Carnage
All non-land
destroys all non-land permanents. Homage gets more votes, or the vote is tied. Draw a card. I am going to respond to that.
Okay.
I am going to... Yes. I am going to activate both of my Teamer Saber Teeth.
Bouncing shit and making them indestructible?
Yes. I will put both of mine Pollywog Frogs into my hand, but one will go away. Alright. You may vote.
I will be voting twice, and I will be voting for Homage.
What does Homage give you?
If it's tied or Homage wins, I draw 1 card.
I vote for Homage.
I guess Carnage. I hate you guys.
I don't know. Homage wins, so I draw a card. Then I move to my actual draw for the turn.
Nelson.
What?
I thought for sure you were gonna wipe the board. Look at Schnell.
I know. And then moving to the beginning of my pre-combat main phase, Black Market Connections will trigger. I will lose a life, and I will create 2 treasure tokens. And then I will lose 2 life to draw another card.
Well, somebody's got to do something to break this stalemate because no one's really swung at each other for a while. So
Yep.
I'm going to do my best. That Nelson won't.
I'm going to play a Morphic Pool as my land for the turn, so that will enter untapped. Then I'm going to pay 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to cast Nadir's Nightblade. It's a 1/3. Whenever a token I control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses a life and I gain a life. I'm going to tap my Soul Ring. And I'm going to cast an Academy Manufactor.
Fucking.
If I would create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create 1 of each.
That's not going to get out of hand at all.
I'm going to sacrifice 2 treasures. So you each
Each
you
opponent
lose 2
loses 1 life,
Yeah.
and you gain
So,
1 life.
Yep, I sacked 2 treasures though, so that happens twice.
Oh yeah, I know.
4.
So 4 total.
Yep.
Our totem's down to 33.
And then I gain. Now that happens individual times, so
But
I
you
can
don't- You
choose.
still only gain 2. Yes. Yes.
I can choose where to add it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
you can divvy that
So I
up.
can go oop and oops, oop. There, 1 on 1. Okay, so divvy that up. The hell did I sacrifice 2?
So Nelson and I are 36. Nelson and Tej are
That's what I sacrificed
35.
2 of them for.
Tej and I are down to 33.
Times 6.
Correct.
I can tap it and sack 5 artifacts and take an extra turn after this one.
Do you win? Do you just go forever?
Not yet. Maybe. No, I don't think so. Not yet.
Well, if you sacrifice those 4 treasures and the Academy Manufactor, or all those clues.
Right. I mean, I can take another turn, but I don't know that I can generate enough tokens yet.
Don't you get tokens at the beginning of your upkeep?
If you guys choose them.
Yeah.
But
You
you
guys
get
can keep-
tokens.
No, not if you
We can draw
You can choose
cards
the
draw.
and keep him from.
So yeah, I don't have a way to. I
What's
can
the one?
Here.
What's the one
Black
that gives you
market connections.
What's the one that gives you either clues or
That was
treasures?
That
Tivit's
was
ETB.
Tivit's ETB.
Got it. Okay.
So then I am going to play. I'm going to pay. Let's do 1 and then a blue and a white. Then I'm going to cast Soul Herder. Now it's going to be a little bit easier. At the beginning of my end step, I may exile another target creature I control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So now I can get Tivit, and I can create 4 treasures from Tivit as long as Mondrak lives. So I get a little bit closer. I still have to pay life, though, to Black Market Connections, so I don't know if I can kill you guys yet. I'd have to do the math.
I see Tivit.
Yep. It's when he attacks or ease TD.
When he enters the battlefield, each player, for each evidence vote, investigate for each player. So each one of us is voting. You're gonna get,
I vote twice, so I
Yeah.
get 8.
and you're getting twice as
Yeah,
many
you're
tokens
right.
regardless.
Let's
I
do
think
8
I think you
tokens.
just do it.
I think I can win with time sit
'Cause-
and drain you guys with.
Yeah.
If you guys
Yeah.
have no interaction available
Right now,
now I can.
no.
With
I've got
Soul
2
Herder.
board wipes on deck.
Yeah. So can you do anything?
I can't do
to
shit.
Interrupt that.
I also
Okay.
can't do shit.
All right, then we can call that.
That is a Nelson infinite. And, like,
Yeah.
do you have a
Didn't
flyer?
even-
No.
Yeah, then you can
Yeah,
just.
right, and I can
worst
just
case, you can
keep-
take infinite turns.
and
Yep.
Tivit
Even
and
without
commander damage too. Right,
that guy
even
just
without sacking.
killing
Yeah,
us.
If you guys can't interact with my board state right now, then yes, I can
Okay.
pop off and do this. So I came into this game unsure of what the future of my Tivit deck was going to be. I've had fun with it since I played it, but I was like, I wonder if I'm going to pull it apart yet or not. I'm not too sure. Even though I've only played it a handful of times, and wow, it really showed what it can do when there isn't a whole lot that opponents can do to interact with it. And you're able to, basically draw an assload of cards. So starting off the game with, I think I had 3 lands in my hand. So then I turn 1 land into Soul Ring, into Thought Vessel. So right off the bat, I had no maximum hand size as long as that stuck. Plus I I had 4 mana available after turn 1. So I got to turn 2, still had a land, 5 mana available on turn 2, not too shabby, which allowed me to get out my Master of Ceremonies, which is a really big key piece of this deck. I think it's a card that's kind of slept on, in my opinion, from the Streets of New Capenna commander decks. It just does so much. Even if your opponents don't want you to get tokens or they don't want the tokens, I was drawing 2 extra cards every turn because Tejan Schnell did not want me to be creating a whole bunch of extra tokens because I also had a very early Mondrak, which was doubling all my tokens. So this deck is all about being able to manipulate votes when cards are played that force us to vote, but also its tokens. There's a lot of green-white token synergies, mono-white token synergies, things like that. Or not synergies, I should say decks that are built. You don't, at least my experience hasn't been seeing a lot of Esper token decks. So taking this, beyond just the political machinations, if you will, and into token spamming, I was the other way I wanted to take this, and when I've played it and it's clicked, the thing really fucking hums. So after you're able to get that out there, and you're able to generate tokens every turn, whether it's from black market connections, synergizing with something like Academy Manufactor. Now, when we hit the end of the game and I got my Soul Herder out, which is another key piece because it allows me to blink. So he's in here to blink my commander and allow me to continue to manipulate votes, or blink things like Palace Jailer, which I could just, it returns. So even without, if I lose the Monarch to somebody, I don't have to hit them back because I can just, flicker my Palace Jailer, or it's Palace Jailer and maybe Palace Sentinels. I don't remember the other one. There's a few cards in here that when they ETB, you become the Monarch. So things like Soul Herder are in here to flicker cards like that, or token generators that will then help me get value off of something like a Mondrak. That's in here. So, like I said, Palace Jailer, that's one way to continue to get the Monarch, which allows me to continue to draw extra cards. Urza Lord Protector was great. He's in here because of the fact that he discounts my artifact spells, which is really cool. Things like Conjures, Closet, Coercive Portal, Soul Ring would be free. He's discounting all of my artifacts, but also instant and sorcery spells, which is great because now I can only, if I've got enough treasures hanging around, I only need to hold up 4 mana for an Ink Shield if he's out on the board instead of 5. So he just gives me a lot of utility because not only does he care about artifacts, but he also helps discount instants and sorcery. So really like that card. I do also run the Mightstone and Meekstone in here, so I can meld them into Super Urza if I wanted to. Didn't need to do that yet, or haven't had the opportunity, I should say, to do that yet. Nadir's Nightblade is another key piece in this deck as just another way to utilize my tokens, right? So whether it's something like I'm sacrificing treasures for mana, it's a way to drain all my opponents and then, gain me some life back too. So Nadir's Nightblade is just another piece of kind of like utility synergy. Time Sieve is in here as a way to generate extra turns. The cool thing about Time Sieve is that you don't have to sacrifice it along with the artifacts. So as we saw, I was able to just continue taking turns because at that point no one had anything to interact with, and nobody was going to get a turn to draw or priority or anything like that to be able to find anything to be able to respond. So Time Sieve ended up, I kind of stumbled backwards into a win condition there. Didn't really realize I had an infinite combo in the deck. Kind of a glass cannon to assemble, so I'm not too worried. It's not like when I built Zaxara where I was like, okay, cool, I can, generate infinite mana with this and then I can Heliod Walking Ballista or, some other infinite combo that you're kind of intentionally putting in there. So all that to say, Tivit, I think he's an underutilized commander too. I think he's really fucking cool. I think there's some cool stuff that was in Streets of New Capenna that I overlooked myself. So, the Master of Ceremonies, Smuggler's Cache, Smuggler's Share, the one with all the raccoons on it. That's another really cool fucking commander card from that set. And there's just a lot of stuff that I slept on because I didn't really care for the setting and the story of New Capenna, and I was kind of like hoity-toity, turning my nose up at it. But holy cow, were there some really awesome commander cards printed in those precons. So if you haven't looked at them, because you're just like way back with whatever set released before that, because you've got as much product fatigue as I do lately, check out the New Capenna Commander for at least singles if you're not going to pick up the precons. There's some really neat stuff in there. Tej's Mutate deck. I tried to counter that Vesuvian Diplomacy. That's such a good card in that deck because everything he's doing with interacting with his own board and his creatures is obviously targeting them. It does not limit him to activating that only once per turn. That thing can get real filthy if he's got enough mana to just start mutating a whole bunch of shit. And he's getting, copies of it. If he could continue to spam copies of that Polywog symbiote, so now he's constantly looting every time he's doing something. He's seeing so many cards. He's pitching garbage. It's just that deck is finely tuned. We've seen what it can do before. I really didn't want that to stick. Luckily, it's finely tuned enough. That card alone hitting the board was scary enough for me to go, oh my god, I got to figure out a way to either now get rid of this fucking enchantment or win the game, because I didn't know what he was going to be able to do with it. And the fact that Schnell made his double-sided card deck like literally 4 hours ago, maybe at this point, is unbelievable. I wish I had the brain power and mental capacity to just constantly have these crazy, fun, neat ideas, and the ability to just like, oh, this is a really cool idea. I know it's going to work with all this stuff, and then, put it all together. I hope this deck stays together. I think it functioned really, really well. I'd like to see it again. There's not just because there's a whole bunch of cards in it I've never seen before, because I couldn't tell you what came out in Lost Caverns of Ixalan, but because it just fucking hummed, and it was a really cool idea. I liked it in thought. I liked it in execution, and I can't wait to see it again. We missed Chris tonight, but Totem's fun every once in a while to do, and I think this was a pretty cool matchup of three very different decks that were trying to do very different things and impacted the game in very different ways.
All right, despite what Nelson believes, I don't think my Vorosh deck is quote-unquote finely tuned. It's gone over many iterations over the years after I threw it together. I like Mutate as a mechanic, and I like the idea of making just big random scary monsters and then cloning the shit out of them. And that's more or less what the deck has wanted to do since its inception. But over the years, it's not consistent. It's not powerful, and it doesn't need to be powerful. But I like to, I want it to function. I don't want to just sit there and hope something happens. I want to try to force something to happen. So this most recent iteration, I took some time and I went over the deck list and I went over my own thoughts about what I specifically want the deck to do. And I had an epiphany moment, kind of like Schnell did with his Curses deck, where maybe I'm just playing the deck incorrectly. And instead of trying to mutate all onto something and then clone it and then hope for the best, maybe what I need to do is I need to lean into the Temur Sabertooth strategy, where I'm going to reuse all of my mutates. Because early iterations of the deck, and by early I mean every iteration except this one, I've included all 20 mutate cards that are in the Sultai colors. I have trimmed back 7 of those. There's only 13 mutate cards in the deck now. The 7 that I cut are just garbage. They weren't good. They were only in there because they said mutate, and I was never happy seeing any of them. So I cut back on some of the mutate. I added in some utility creatures, and then the idea is I even threw a demonic tutor in this deck. This deck has a demonic tutor in it, so I can tutor up for the shit cards I need to try to get it to function. But the idea here is I still want to do... I'm still making some clones, like with the Duplomancy, with Ivy, Spell Thief, or whatever her name is. There are ways for me to copy these creatures repeatedly and kind of build up a board state like I like. But I want to lean in on the Temur Sabertooth, where once I make a copy that includes all of the mutates, I'm going to return that thing back to my hand, reuse the mutates. I got to do it a little bit with my Polywog Symbiote, my 2 of them, because even though I only saw the 2 mutate creatures this game, but I was still able to cast each of them more than once, and get those triggers to draw and discard cards and start filtering through things. It was just very, very slow going. Nelson went off the rails real quick. Schnell went off the rails real quick. And I It was very good. I really enjoyed watching Nelson do his things, and I'm going to be honest with you. I stopped paying attention to Schnell very early on. His deck was hard for me to follow at the time, simply because I am trying to plan out my own stuff, and I love what he did, and I loved watching him play it, but I just took his word for everything, and was like, he's got it. He's going to look at the backs of his own cards. He's going to know what these do. I'm not going to put any thought towards Schnell tonight whatsoever. I'm just going to focus on myself and a little bit on Nelson. And it got to a point where I was just so far behind. I understand things looking threatening, like the Sabertooth, like the Duplimancy. On the surface, very threatening, but my opponents can't see what I have in my hand, which was really a whole lot of nothing. They didn't realize how little of a threat I actually possessed, but I understand the mindset of trying to get rid of those things. So the lesson that I learned tonight, the big takeaway for me was I got to Teamer Sabertooth, and I Teamer Sabertoothed 3 times tonight, which I think is ideally what I need to do. I need to pick one creature, I need to load up the mutates to get the effects, copy it if I can, then return all the mutates to my hand, and do it again. And I think slowly but surely, with a little more control, with a little more board state interaction, maybe set myself up to where we get to a point where, like, oh, we left Tej unchecked, and now look at him. The sweet spot where I guess I live constantly. But it was a fun game, and I'm glad I got to do a few things that I wanted to do. I want to see a few more mutates, though. I want to see more interaction cards in my own deck to kind of stop all my friends with what they're doing. So Vorosh, you lost, but we're going to see you on camera again real soon, I promise you.
So Tetzin, the big gnome robot feller from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. This deck was, as I said during the game, this was me putting my faith in Wizards R&D to make sure that there's enough interaction, to make sure that there's enough support in the draft environment for 2 separate decks shoved together with me adding a few odds and ends here and there. So I leaned heavily into all of the all the transforming artifacts. They don't actually flip. Flipping is a different mechanic, and I'm sorry if it hurts you every time I say flip, but I'm flipping you off every time I say it. Haha. Anyway, but I leaned into that mechanic, and Tetzin was a deck that I wanted to build for a long time, and I couldn't figure out how I wanted to do it. And honestly, when I found the clear sleeves in my attic storage, that I went, I can't use this for any card that has, or any deck that has flip cards. I went, or I could use it with a deck that has all flip cards. So I spent about 2 hours a day doodling every single flip card's proxy with enough information, or at least the casting cost and the knowledge of, okay, this is this, and I can check my pile. So I need to check the numbers. There's between 20 and 30 decent flip artifacts in there. And because I was going off the rails on this anyway, Chris pointed out previously that I don't run battles. So I also have, I think, almost every single available battle in here. I don't know if they were helpful because I didn't see any. This deck has the ability to go very, very wide and very, very aggressive because of the incubate mechanic, which helps self-mill and search for more artifact things to go with Tetzin's ability. That was a fun synergy that I kind of stumbled into while building the deck, so that I leaned into the incubate mechanic, because the incubate cards are there not only to support Tetzin's ability of when a double-sided artifact comes into play, I get to mill and I get to pull something back, but also those cards have utility and then just also incubate while they're doing other stuff. So that was the backbone of my interaction and my build board state, while finding more shit that I can use to make Tetzin better. As far as MVPs for this game, the training grounds, with the amount of, not graft, but whatever the heck, craft with? Yeah. Craft mac and cheese ability that they've got. Reducing that by 2 to a minimum of 1 in some instances. Very, very helpful. Made things cheaper. I did misplay a little bit that I noted in my my gameplay. I could have board wiped the turn that all I did was make more stuff and flip Elish Norn. But I wanted to keep Elish Norn around by turning her into an enchantment, not a creature that could be killed. And because of that, I think I put myself behind too much. But that being said, Elish Norn did work. She was going to make me... she gave me 5 2/2 artifact creatures, giving them +2 or +1/+1, and then double strike on the following turn. I was going to make a massive swing between my equipment and between my lands that also buff some of my creatures as one-time abilities. One of my creatures was going to get at least +10/+0. On top of having double strike already. So, Elish Norn was great. I'm going to run this deck again, not probably next game, but in 2 or 3. I'm going to go through and see if there's any incubate cards that don't actually help me, that don't really do anything other than having the word incubate on them. I'm going to make sure that I have enough interaction, so I might cut some of the battles that I didn't even see, so I don't know how they affected my gameplay. But the ones that aren't directly manipulative to the board state, I will probably replace for interaction. I had some interaction, not enough to keep me alive. Nelson did a great job with his Schnell-inspired deck, because I've built a lot of artifact decks, and I've thrown stuff in to do silly infinite combos, but I never get them off. And he, like you said, he fell into that one where it was, he just happened to have the right situation to take infinite turns. Whether or not he was pinging us with that one black creature that works off of sacrificing stuff, which is a great addition to anything with clues, treasures, foods, whatever. But also the fact that he could just take infinite turns and hit us with a Sphinx for commander damage. Also just chef's kiss. That is a fantastic deck. Tej and Vorosh. Every time he says he's not a threat, he's a liar. Every time he says his deck isn't tuned, he's a liar. He tunes his deck as he builds them. He doesn't do the normal shit that I do, where it's, I'm going to throw everything with the same keyword into a deck, play it 3 or 4 times, and then start cutting the stuff that is objectively bad. He just doesn't put objectively bad decks together. And that's the problem. He thinks, oh, I didn't tune it. No, you designed it tuned. It came out of the womb singing opera. I don't know how you do that, but it's annoying. But stay tuned. Check out some of our other games, and like and subscribe to keep up on our newest builds and newest battles.